Right, so I'm going to get going, everybody. If anyone else jumps in the room, I'll just keep an eye on the invites. And
Amelia, I need to listen.
if anyone else jumps in the room, I'll let them in. If you could all just for the moment mute your microphones, and if you want to turn your cameras off as well for the moment, it might be easier just with the bandwidth while I go through the presentation. The intention is to share with you a presentation and proposal for how we're going to push forward with the junior program, and then I'll stop sharing the screen. We can all jump online, maybe switch the cameras on, see each other, and have a chat and take some questions as to anything that might come out. I am going to be recording this part of the presentation. Just it's a great opportunity for me to look back and give myself some feedback, but equally there might be some stuff that we want to share as well. If you do not mute and I mute you, then please don't take offense. It's just to try and keep the noise down a little bit so that we can hopefully hear everything and make sense of everything. The presentation is aimed, I guess, at parents predominantly, but it's absolutely amazing to see that we got some of the players watching this as well. So I'm really interested to see what you guys and girls think of the program and take any of your questions as well. But I'm going to be delivering this mostly to parents. So if there's anything you don't understand, please don't worry. We can always ask a question and talk more about it a little bit later. So for those of you that don't know me, my name's Mark Day. I've been a PGA coach since 1993, which is a very long time ago. And I've been at Mill Green for the last 3 years. I currently hold the position of lead coach for England Golf National Girls, and I also hold the position of Hertfordshire Golf County Coordinator. So I absolutely have a passion for working with juniors and golfers under the age of 18. And I'm really looking at driving this forward with this program at much more at a club level. Now, the interesting thing here is, and we've got some people on the call as well, some pros and some friends of mine who are going to listen in to what I'm saying is, and you guys, if you want to stay on the call at the end when everyone's logged off, we can have a catch up if you want, or you can just leave whenever you want to leave and we'll have a catch up another time. But when I kind of started to investigate this program, there were only 4 facilities in the UK that ran Operation 36. And when I started to investigate it further, for me, it's the best development model I've ever seen. And not only in its structure, but also in how it facilitates learning and engagement. And I'm really excited to obviously share that with you right now. Since I've been posting and promoting, we've actually had another 4 facilities that have signed up to Operation 36. And we're going to talk a little bit about community later on. But I'm excited that this is massive in the States, really, really big in the States. And I'm hoping it's something that we can push forward a little bit more in the UK. And we are going to be at Mill Green Golf Club at the forefront of that. So welcome to the presentation. We start with a problem. And I have a genuine belief, and this has been my experience as not just a theoretical problem, but this is my experience as well, is that the way we learn golf, the way golf is learned, is fundamentally flawed. And that flaw is the idea that you're not ready to go on the golf course yet. So even the way that it's taught is generally people sign up for a series of golf lessons, and those golf lessons are out of the context of play. And it might be a series of 4 lessons, 4 taster lessons, 5 lessons, or an individual lessons over a course of 6 lessons. And we sign up to those courses, and then we're kind of expected to, within those sessions, learn how to play golf and go from this person who's not been golf to a competent golfer or a sense of being a golfer. But I also think the problem is, that's I don't think a possibility, and I think that potentially creates false expectations. But equally, I think students come to golf lessons with the idea that they're not golfers and they need to wait to become golfers. And that can be further endorsed by understanding the concept of the game. And most golf is taught from tee to green. So the traditional way that we learn golf and we develop our skills are from tee to green. And what that means is we really need to demonstrate the skills of using a driver, using woods from the fairway or the rough, irons, pitches, bunkers, bunker shots, chipping and putting. So we've got all of these skills to learn, and we're trying to do them all in lessons. And we're also learning them outside the context of play, because in our minds, we're thinking we're not either allowed on the golf course or we're not ready for the golf course. And so when we do get out there, we're trying to manage all these skills, and we start at the back of the tee and we just play all these shots until we get to the green, which could be 7, 8 or 9 shots. And it's not necessarily the most positive experience. It can be really frustrating just because you don't know and haven't had enough experience yet to know what to do in all of those scenarios. And you won't learn that in a golf lesson. It's very difficult to learn that in a golf lesson. It can then become overwhelming because you're suddenly thinking you should be better than you are. You might be worried about the people playing behind you. You might be worried about the people that you're playing with. And you don't really know what to do and how to cope with it, especially if it's an environment that's really new to you. And there's no plan. So it's really difficult to think, this is what's happening to me on the golf course, and I don't really know what's going wrong. I feel like I'm doing the things that I've done in the lesson. But, whoever that is, turn their mic off for me, please. Thank you. So we've got this scenario where the experience of actually being on the golf course can become quite frustrating, quite overwhelming, and there's no plan. So what we're proposing to do, and this is what I'm really excited about, is to introduce the Operation 36 way to learning how to play golf. And this is based around the idea that we're going to shoot 36 or better. Now, 36 is on average what it takes par for 9 holes. So right from the word go, our goal is to score 36 or better, and we're going to start from 25 yards away. Now, because we're starting from 25 yards away, we are predominantly learning chipping and putting skills, which means we're developing the skills for the space that we're playing in. And once we've achieved 36 or better, we then move back to 50 yards, which now means we need to start looking at how we develop pitches and bunker plays and the skills of all of 4 of those. And when we shoot 36 or better from 50 yards, we move back to 75 yards. Then we move back to 100 yards until eventually we're on the back tees and we're going to be playing from the back tees and scoring 36 or better. Now, I know there's probably a lot of mums and dads listening to this that thinks that sounds like a great idea. And of course, this isn't just exclusive to juniors. You're also very welcome to join the party. But what's brilliant about this and what I love about this is it's timely. So you are playing in an environment that's appropriate to your skill levels. So it's not going to take you an age or a long time to get around the golf course. And this is really important. And your skills grow with the environment that you're playing in. It's goal-centered. So we've got a concept and understanding of what we're looking for and what good looks like. And the concept in itself is just really simple. So we're going to work towards 3 core principles in the program. The first principle, as we've just discussed there, is Operation 36 is centered around on-course improvement. That, for me, is the sole purpose. Everything I've done as part of my role within Hertfordshire Golf is I founded with a good friend of mine, Mark Knight, the Futures Tour and the I-Tour. And the reason for that was because I believed that young golfers were overcoached and underplayed. And I wanted to be able to provide playing opportunities for young golfers so they could experience golf in its truest form. And then the coaching would underpin those experiences so they could share their stories. And as a coach, I could help with their enjoyment and their performance of the game. So it's centered around on-course improvement. And from the coaching perspective, there's a really clear curriculum that leads to an end goal. So instead of kind of making stuff up as we go along or not having a structured program where it might suit some and not suit others, by having a curriculum, it becomes really easy to deliver. It becomes easier to learn, and it's fabulous for communication. And we'll talk a little bit more about that later. And one of the most exciting things that I can't wait to get active on is the technology that motivates and tracks progress, that allows us to share and all be part of tracking the rewards of success and share those successes. The technology is going to help us do that, and I've never ever seen anything like this in golf before. So, and if anyone has, by the way, please do let me know. So these are the 3 core values that we're going to be working towards. And we'll talk a little bit more about the first one. So how does it work? So we are going to be working through divisions. So as I highlighted a bit earlier and alluded to earlier, you start 25 yards away. That's going to be Division 1. And then you score 36 or better, you move into Division 2. Then you get promoted into Division 3. Then you get promoted into Division 4. And I would see the transition. We're blessed at Mill Green to have an amazing par 3 golf course. It's going to be fabulous when we get back. And we can do Division 1, 2, and 3 on the par 3. But once we get to Division 4, we then can start looking and thinking about moving on to the main course. And that's an exciting transition period for me there. And once we get onto the main course, we then can move back to 200 yards until eventually we are back to Division 10, which is 3,200 plus yards, which is an amazing standard of golf. So you can now see where you want to get to. Now, for some golfers, I've got in my mind what I want to be able to support players with, and I've got an ambition to help some players get to that Division 10 and be successful at Division 10. That is a passion of mine. But I also appreciate and value the idea that not everybody wants to get there. So I'm kind of envisaging that Division 5 or Division 6 will be the point where you are going to be confident about playing on a golf course, where there's research that says once you break 100 consistently, or once you get to a 26 handicap, that's the time when you kind of feel like you're a lifelong golfer and you've now got those skills for life. So how much you play is obviously going to be dependent, but that's when you kind of got this sense of, do you know what, I feel it's okay for me to turn up at the golf club and I can go out and play and I know what I'm doing and I'm going to be able to enjoy myself despite the way I play, not just because of the way I play. So my goal again is going to be to push people and help people get to that Division 5, Division 6, help them become lifelong golfers, and then is kind of up to them where they want to go from there. So what we're going to do as part of the program is we are going to provide regular 9-hole events. So every 2 weeks, we're going to have 9-hole events where you can turn up and play, and there's your opportunity to move up a division. We'll keep a scorecard. We'll put the skills that we've learned in the classes into practice, and then we'll see what score we get, and we can see if we can move you through those divisions. So I'm quite excited with how clear that looks, and I'm excited to join in the celebrations as we transfer through all the various divisions. Now, everyone is going to start at Division 1. So I do know there's people on the call that go, oh, I can do that from 25 yards. I think I should be starting at Division 4. And I think that would be very true. You probably can do that at Division 1. At 25 yards, but we're going to make it that everybody starts at 25 yards. And the reason for that is because it's a really good process to go through, and it's good to test those skills in those different areas. And what we'll do for those that are slightly better is we'll just set you a slightly different target. So maybe it's about breaking 32, or maybe it's about breaking 30. Now, you're not going to be held back. As soon as you break 36, you can move back into Division 2 or up into Division 3. So we're not going to definitely not going to hold you back, but I'm going to have a go at this. I'm sure Jack will have a go, and maybe even Gary will have a go as well. And what we can do is we can post a course record, and then maybe we can see who can get the course record at that distance. So you've always got something to play for. So everybody starts at Division 1, and then we're going to move back from there. Right, the coaching element of this. So we have a long-term curriculum, and this is what it's going to look like for us. There's going to be, we're going to work in term times. So this next term, there's going to be 7 classes. So the blue spots are the lessons, and the orange spots are going to be the 9 holes. So you can see that we're going to be having a lesson, playing 9 holes, having a lesson, playing 9 holes, having a lesson, playing 9 holes. Now, of course, the 9 holes isn't necessarily the only time you're going to be playing golf. I really hope that we're going to inspire you to play even more golf than that. They're just in there to say, look, they are part of the program. And I, as a coach, will be at those sessions. I will be able to observe and watch and support and be there with you. And then that's going to help me with my coaching, and then help you with my coaching, because I'm actually seeing you in play. And that's quite unique, because golf doesn't really, not many golf coaches get the opportunities to see their players play. But I'm going to be there, I'm going to be out there, and I'm going to be in attendance on those sessions. But at Mill Green, what we've also got coming up, and I know a couple of these have been advertised, is we've got some brilliant stuff going on a Wednesday night. We've got like a session going on a Wednesday, and we've also got some family sessions on a Friday evening. And so we can integrate those into the program as well. And there'll also be some stuff, and I'm looking at to see if we can get maybe some other coaches to come in and support us with this, because I genuinely believe this could be big and could be really massive for us. So I want to look at getting other coaches to come in so we can do more stuff at the weekends. So the program consists of those 11 hours, if you like. Now, with the classes, there's going to be a very simple structure to the classes. And that structure will be where we'll start with some kind of game or activity. And you'll be able to see these when we get onto the app. I'll be able to tell you more about this, but you'll be able to see what these might look like in the app, or we can record our own videos and we can post those, so that when you practice for yourself, you've got more games and activities you can do for yourself rather than just hit balls. But we start off with a game and an activity, and each session is going to have a theme, and a theme around skills. So that game and an activity will particularly tap into some skills. And then we'll go through a learning process, and we will pull you out of the game and activity. We'll share some learning with you, and then we'll put you back into a game and activity where we might challenge and test you a little bit more. So just to see the skills that we've introduced, if they're new skills that we've introduced to you, or if they're skills that we're looking at helping you level up on, how are you learning that? How are you applying that to the new game and activity? So it's going to be a very much a games-based approach to learning, which I think is going to be a lot more fun all round. So let's just share with you a little bit more about the curriculum and what that looks like. So there are going to be 6 ranks. So the divisions are how well you play, and the ranks are kind of how much you know. And the key skills that we're going to work on are the skills listed on the left-hand side. So posture, power, grip, ball flight, alignment, green reading, putting, fitness, mastery, honor, work ethic, and performance. And the performance element, that's where your divisions kick in. Now, in order to complete a rank, and you're rank 1, you have to pass all of those levels. And once you've passed all of those levels, you then move into rank 2. But if you don't move into rank 2, to be clear, it doesn't hold you back from moving up divisions on the golf course. So I will very much see those as 2 separate things. So we have 6 ranks, 12 skills, which now gives us 72 goals to achieve, which again, I think is really exciting. They're little challenges along the way that we can tick off and celebrate as we're successful with each and every one of those. And all of this is going to be on the app for you. All of this is going to be easily available for you to see and for you to monitor and manage as we go on this journey together. So I'm going to talk a little bit more. Oh, no, we're not. We're going to talk about this now. So, so one of the things in the app is that there's lots of videos on there, and there's videos for you to see the content and the education, if you like, in those key skills. And what I love about that is there's going to be consistent messages coming through. So if I'm given a golf lesson and I'm sharing an idea that's recorded in the video, mums and dads can watch that as well, and therefore give consistent messages. Or if mums and dads have questions about that, either the video can help them understand it a little bit more, or they can ask me questions about it, which I think is brilliant. So the videos are there for you to kind of learn and relearn. And I've done a lot of that this lockdown. I've done a lot of learning myself, and I've gone into new areas of the game that I wasn't, it wasn't an area of expertise for me. But I've jumped in and I've learned lots about it. And I've actually relearned a lot of stuff that I'd forgotten about. And I thought, oh yeah, I remember that, but I've forgotten about that. And so instead of just learning new stuff, it's important to understand that we also go through a relearning process. And all that's going to be accessible for you to engage in that. But the other thing I quite like about this is what's called reverse classrooms. So normally people turn up for a classroom or for a lesson, and they're going to be introduced to something new. But what I like about this is I'll give you a heads up on some occasions. I won't do it all the time, and say, this week, we're going to work on posture, and we're going to work on going through the IYAL routine, which is one of the routines that they use. What I'd like you to do is watch the video before the class, have a little practice, and then when you come to class, give me some feedback. What did you think? Did it work? Didn't it work? What don't you understand? So all of a sudden it changes the dynamic of the lesson because you've watched it and you've had a little bit of experience already. We can actually engage in different conversations, which can actually fast track progress. So I'm excited to use the videos and the app in that way as well. So talking about the app and how this works. So the app is going to be part of the program, or we want the app to be part of the program. And the way this is going to work is imagine it like Netflix for those of you that have Netflix. You have an account and then you can set up various profiles. So you just need one account for the family. So you could have your own account, then you have a son's account and a daughter's account, etc. All under, profile, but all under the same account. So you don't have to download lots of different apps, and you don't have to use it with different people. You can all use it in the same space. And once you've created that profile, it then becomes personalized. So it'll be, hey there, Daniel, or hey there, Amelia, or hey there, Will, what are you up to today? And I really like that because it's that personal touch that's special to us and what we want to create at Millgrain. And when we go to the 4 key kind of functions of the app, the first one is related to playing. So I mentioned about transitioning from the par 3 onto the main course. And one of the questions I had in mind was, well, how can I measure 150 yards? Now, Mill Green, we've got the luxury of the 150-yard markers, but they might get lost or they might get broken, or we might not have the 200s easily visible. But what the app has is a GPS unit. And the GPS unit, you just click the button, it records when you start playing, and then you walk up the hole and it will tell you when you're 150 yards away, and you can just drop the ball and you play from there. You complete the hole, record your score, move on to the next hole, walk up the hole to 150 yards, and then you play from there. So it's really easy to play the length of golf courses that we're looking at playing, so that you can level up in your divisions. You can keep a scorecard on there, keep your score on there. And the other thing I love about this is it's going to start recording our milestones. So think of transitioning from Division 3 into Division 4, and you've just recorded 36 or better from 75 yards. And now you're moving back to the 100 yards and you shoot 51 and you think, oh, crikey, I must have got a lot worse, or this is really difficult. But we'd kind of expect that because you've moved a little bit further away. You're going to have to demonstrate slightly different skills. But what this is going to do is it's going to say, hey, you didn't quite get the 36, that's okay. But when you break 50, you've achieved a milestone, because that's the first time you've broken 50 from this distance. And then when you break 45, you get another milestone. And then when you break 40, you get another milestone. You get these little rewards, these little pat on the backs, and these little celebrations as you go. And before you know it, you've scored 36 again, and now you're back to Division 5. So and it records the time that you're practicing as well, which kind of links into the work ethic. If you were thinking about some of those ones at the bottom, then that's the work ethic. You know, how good you get. I genuinely believe the more you play and the more you practice, the better you get and the more fun you have. And this will help start to record that. You also get 50 points just for playing 9 holes. And you get 25 points just for going through a practice session. And I love this concept of accumulating points. It's something that I tried at my previous club, Whipsnade Park Golf Club, but it was just too much paperwork and I couldn't figure out how to make it easy. Well, the app's going to do it for us. Instead of just turning up and doing a bit of putting or doing a bit of, smashing a load of balls on the driving range or going on the main course or going on the par 3 and just seeing what we can score, we'll set you up training programs or practice sessions that you can complete. And when you complete those sessions, you get 25 points for your account or for your community. And again, I'll talk a little bit later about that. I'll talk about that a little bit later on. But the playing and the training is going to be, I think, again, unique opportunities for us to tap into to develop our skills and, as I say, have more fun at the golf course. So, communities. The Operation 36, and again, something I love about the program is it's really based around the idea that you're improving your game should feel like a game. So this concept of earning points, collecting streaks, and leveling up your profiles, exactly what happens in video games, right? It happens for those involved in, use social media, it happens in social media. It invites us and encourages us to come back. And we're going to be doing that by playing golf, by practicing golf, and also by logging social challenges. So think of a social challenge would be something like watch golf for 15 minutes with mum or dad this weekend and have a conversation about somebody who you watched play. And you can just earn 5 or 10 points just for watching a bit of golf. Maybe watch a YouTube video or learn a new skill. Maybe complete a practice session at home. Maybe share something you did successful at school. That all links into this idea that actually all of this is helping me improve my golf. And you can see, sorry, in the screen on the right-hand side, you can see how this would look, where you've got like a 3-day streak of logging information and how many points you might have accumulated. And then they have, because you're accumulating this through your own account, Operation 36 accumulate this at club level. And they can say, well, actually, we're a global brand, although it's not massive in the UK, it's massive in America. And what we can start to do is see which clubs are practicing the most or playing the most. And you can see here, Keith Hills Golf Club has accumulated 15,950 points. Now, I've got no idea how many points that is and what it takes to collate those, but it looks pretty impressive when you think the country club is 12,840 and then suddenly it drops to Lockmere Golf Academy, which is 3,645. So it'd be pretty cool and pretty awesome for Mill Green Golf Club to see if they could get their name up in that top 5, maybe on a global leaderboard. But even if we weren't interested in that, we can just look after ourselves and we can say, well, what are we doing? And we can have our own community at Mill Green Golf Club, and we can even utilize this in our own class. So if you've got friends in your class, you can kind of work together to see how many points you can accumulate over the month, and again, set yourself those little targets. So I think that's a pretty cool feature on the app that, again, hopefully is going to make Mill Green stand out and us as a community stand out and as an amazing place to be, learn and develop our golf. So I mentioned earlier about the curriculum and everything's on the app. So what the app and the profile will do is it will identify exactly where you are or where the player is in level 1, for example. So in level 1, in this example, we've completed 11 of the skills. We've just got one more skill to learn. And there'll be a little journey. And so what will happen is as we go through the coaching program, and it will be part of the coaching program, myself or Jack or the coaches, the coaching team will kind of assess and evaluate as we go through it, and we'll just sign off. And we'll have an app, and we'll punch in our app that, yeah, Mark's completed his level 1 posture. So I'll click on the app and that'll come through. So you'll get to see that in your app as well. So everything related to the curriculum is in the app for you, so it's easy to see, and all the educational videos to help you get through that program are also on there for you to watch. But another feature that I'm really looking forward to using is the private goals. Now, I'm confident there are going to be players that get through rank 6 and they're going to want to still continue to learn and continue their journey. They're going to want to get to Division 10. And they might have ambitions of going to America, scholarship in America, or go and play for their country or their county. And so the private goals function allows us to create a little private section where we can set our own goals, we can set our own videos, and we can make our own videos, and we can track our journey from there. So it just doesn't finish when the curriculum ends. We can continue that journey right the way through. One of the other functions with the app is clearly going to be communication, and related to classes. We can continue to use WhatsApp for those that are in the WhatsApp groups if that's easier. But through the app, we can give you class notifications. We can give you updates on anything that's new. So you'll be the first to get the release of Easter camps or summer camps, any holiday camps, any functions that we're doing, any sign-ups that we're looking for. We can post those straight to the app. You'll be the first ones to get them before we put them out kind of publicly. So I think the communication there is really important, and it would be a shame in like a modern day technology that wouldn't be a function. But one of the important things here is that I as a coach, Jack as a coach, and any of the other coaching team that come on board with this, is we will be able to see and track your journey with you. So that's going to allow us the opportunity to support you and answer any questions that you might have. So for example, if you see that one student is progressing faster than another student and you're kind of interested in why, although we wouldn't give necessarily personal details, we might be able to say, well, that's because the other students actually clocked an extra 2 hours a week for the last 6 weeks in their practice, and that's not been logged in the other account. So naturally, there's not quite the progression's quicker in the other student because they're just doing more. And it might be okay, oh, I didn't realize that, and that makes sense. And it's just because we can see all the information and because we can track your account with you, it's just, again, a great way for us to, and a framework for us to have conversations around your development or your child's development that holds us accountable as well. So it's not going to only hold parents and students accountable, it's holding us accountable as well. And I think that's really important, and that's part of the team that I want to try and be part of and create. And finally, related to the technology, there's a lot of, I love the structure. I love the level ups in play. I love the curriculum. And that gives us kind of shorter term goals. But Operation 36 have got quite a unique function based on the work that they've done in America that says, well, what we can now do based on our experience, we can actually forecast where you are in relation to where you want to be. So for example, if at 12 years old, somebody came to me and said, Mark, I'd really like to get to a college in the States on a scholarship, and I'd like to do a golf scholarship, we could say, okay, that's amazing, brilliant. And I kind of do this already with a lot of the England players that I work with. But what we can do now is we can say, right, you're currently in Division 4 at the age of 12. And that is, by the time you're playing 18, or by the time you get to 18, you want to be playing in Division 10 and have completed Division 10. And that's the kind of level for American college. We can see if you're ahead of schedule or slightly behind schedule. And if you're ahead of schedule, that's amazing, because we can then say, if you're having a blip, for example, if you're not playing very well, we can go, that's okay, don't worry about that. You're still ahead of schedule. So it's okay to have a little bit of a blip. And if you're behind schedule, that's okay too, because it gives us an indication of what we might need to do just to catch up. And again, that's part of our responsibility as a coaching team, is to help you manage that journey. Now, of course, not everyone's going to want to go to America and go to scholarship in the States. And some students, and I'm sure many students, are just going to want to love playing golf. And as I said right earlier on in the presentation, one of my goals here is to help more golfers become lifelong golfers, get to a stage where they just feel comfortable joining in. So maybe some students just want to say, do you know what, I would just love to break 90. And if I can break 90 on a regular basis, that might be Division 7. If I can break 90 on a regular basis, then when I go to university, then I can just join in with the golf functions and the golf days. Or actually, I'm not going to play much golf through at university because other stuff might be going on. But when I come back to golf, I'm still going to have enough knowledge and experience to know that I can play. And I'm going to feel comfortable and competent to go and play golf again. And I think that's an exciting place to be. And for any golfers that might be coming in at 14, 15 years old, then again, it just gives us that opportunity to give them an indication of where they are and what they might need to do in order to achieve that goal. So I think that's quite a cool function that we'll use with some, but we'll not use with anyone. So for me right now, I think I've given you, I don't know if I've done that. I always feel like I do this a little bit excitedly and whether I go too quick or not, but hopefully that was a paced okay for you. And before I go any further, I'd be quite excited to take any questions, but I am going to stop recording. So just give me a moment to stop recording so nobody feels conscious.